Who won practice today? Hint, it's kind of a familiar name. Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is going on, Badger fans? Welcome to Locked On Badgers, your team every single day, coming to you from Platteville, up in the booth up here. I really do appreciate everybody tuning in. Another really fun day of practice. This is going to be kind of a shorter show. I'm going to do a full one long later today where I can go through all my notes, but wanted to do just kind of a quick reaction, who I thought looked really good, what kind of happened offense, defense, Billy Edwards, offensive line. But we got to start here. And hopefully, by the way, the audio and everything looks fine. This is not obviously my typical setup. Mason Reiger again. Dude, I got to be careful here about not overhyping it. White Marlin says, "Are we live?" I think we're live. White Marlin, let me know if you're not live or not. I think we're live. Mason Reiger again. I don't think it's like we have a massive problem at the tackle spot necessarily. I think Reiger might just be really good. I think he might be really good. Adam, what's up, man? He's there in the chat. We got Badger and Bournemouth. We got Jim Thompson. We got Doc in here. I really do appreciate all you guys as always. He had a couple plays today. Reiger back-to-back down near the red zone. He went in and tackled for loss, just nailed, kind of walloped Darian Dupree, forced a fumble. And man, when he makes a play, he's just the energy. You can just feel it. You can see it. He's hopping up and down. You need some guys like that. You need some dudes like that on the defensive line that are just kind of wired a little like a maniac. He's got that. And then I saw him working after practice, just working on his hand speed, working on kind of his get off to the side after everyone else had left. He is built. He looks the part. He's been productive. Both practices I've been here, he's been really, really, really good. He's been really good. Another one. We'll finish this on Reiger. We'll finish this. I'll post some of these interviews later. I was talking to Tucker Ashcraft and I was talking to Lance Mason after practice. And I asked Tucker Ashcraft, hey, you were here last year. You blocked that front seven. You're here this year. You're blocking this front seven. Kind of what's different? And the first word out of his mouth is Mason Reiger. That dude is a mother. And then he stopped himself. He's like, I can say that. But yeah, Reiger, I think the hype is warranted. I really do. And I know last year we talked about John Pius being a big piece. Pius didn't make these type of plays in practice. So Reiger, I like a lot. Adam Pettis, good question here. Are we optimistic at cornerback or should I feel worried about Nazir? Sounds like LY is what I should focus my ulcer on. LY. Oh, you mean left tackle. Sorry. I think the corners are good. So I tweeted this out. I thought Rico was really good. Rico was really good today. There were a couple balls. He had one pick, but there was a couple balls where Billy Edwards just had incredible ball placement. But Rico was right there. He blanketed a couple of times. And then Agard, once again, I thought Agard was solid again today. I don't know what other people have put out there, what they've said. I thought both those corners were really solid. Behind them, I think you have a few more question marks. So you got to keep those guys healthy. You really, really got to keep those dudes healthy. But I think those two top corners are really good. Austin Brown had a nice day today. On the safeties, let's hit on that. Matthew Traynor is physical as F. He couple plays today, had a nice pop on Jackson McGowan in red zone drills. And then he came up later in the day and had a really nice run stop near the goal line, stood up. I think he was getting a Tuca. And Coach Cooper, the safeties coach, was just jumping up and down about it. That's a physical player. How is he going to play in coverage? I think that's a valid question. It's something that they're going to have to figure out. But I think in the box, in the red zone, in certain packages, Trainor's going to be a physical piece of this defense this year. Tight end room, I thought that was a takeaway. Just being able to talk to them after practice, but also Lance Mason. I continue to think I undersold that addition. And I know there's some people on the Discord, Marine Matt, who's a great dude, was all over this. I think he's going to be impactful. Talked to Nate Letton about him. Letton really likes him. He had a really nice catch in the back of the end zone, just a beautiful catch over, I think it was Christian Allegro. Nice coverage, but just a dime from Billy Edwards and then just a beautiful catch from Mason as he's kind of going out of bounds. I think that's a pretty good piece there. I don't want to, listen, it's also not all positive, right? Again, I'm going to do a full show later, but I want to give you guys just kind of a quick gut reaction. This is what I'm thinking. And again, it felt like the defense was a little ahead of the offense, especially in the passing game. There were a couple drops. I thought there was a couple drops, more than a couple drops. I thought that receivers should have came down with. I thought the defense was able to get pressure, to affect the quarterback, to kind of collapse the pocket. So I saw a lot of that was Reiger, but Cheeks, I thought Suggs had a couple really nice pressures on the interior. He's got unique burst. So it feels like the offense isn't fully where it needs to be yet, especially from that passing standpoint. I think combination of pressure, some drops. There's still some things. And quite frankly, that should probably be a little expected, right? This defense has seen this offense a lot. They know what they're going to run to some degree. Heinzen is still getting reps and still getting used to where they want him. It's a new quarterback, a new offensive coordinator. It makes sense that the defense is probably a little ahead, but that offense is going to have to continue progressing. There was a couple procedural penalties today. I think Ballard had one where he didn't get set. Just some things to clean up. There was a couple snap issues again. One with Billy Edwards under center where they fumbled the snap. A couple other ones from second and third string units. Kadenko, I think, had a couple. So it just feels like it's not fully there yet. And that's probably what we should expect. Conversely, I think the defense has looked pretty good. Outside of some interior running, which again, I talked about that yesterday. I thought the offense did a good job running between the tackles yesterday. You saw that again today. Darion Dupree ripped off a couple nice gashes. He had at least 2 20-yard runs, I think, if you're going back to look at it. So interior running the ball, I think the offensive line got good push. Brunner, Renfro, Mandel had some nice reps with the ones today. It felt like they were able to dictate a little bit on the interior. Jackson Aker had a really nice block on a direct snap to Darion Dupree where he went around the right end and scored a touchdown. That was Aker kind of washing out Christian Allegro on that one, I believe. So good and bad. Big picture takeaways for me, and I'll just throw some questions in here from you guys or comments from you guys. Big picture takeaways is this front seven, it just feels like more athletic, bigger. That's been talked about all offseason. I think that hype is real. I really think that hype is real. I think they're going to dictate a little bit more on the other side of the line of scrimmage this year. Reiger is potentially a star, period. I don't want to overhype it. People are going to tell me I am. He's potentially a star. I like Suggs today. Allegro and Tackett are nice pieces. Cheeks is nice. Darrell Peterson had another good day today. So I like a lot of the pieces on the defense. Passing game still needs to come along. And starting offensive line, we saw that question a couple times here. Let me see if I can pull that up. Lance Mason sounds like a dog. I think that's a really nice pickup. Mike 78 says, does it look like Heinzen can keep up with the speed rush? I don't know. Like, I don't want to say he can't. They've struggled a little bit in doing that. These couple practices I've seen. And that's a small sample size. I'm not going to make too much out of 2 practices. But I do think that has been an issue where the edges on this defense have gotten pressure. And it's not all on Heinzen. And, you can also scheme around some of that, right? You can keep a tight end in, you can chip. There's things you can do where you can work with it. And I also think there's a possibility that Reiger is going to give a lot of people issues on the edge. I think there's a possibility Sebastian Cheeks is going to give a lot of people issues on the edge. So I think it's a combination of those things. Heinzen's still coming up to speed. And yes, we miss Kevin Haywood. Let's not beat around the bush. Like, we miss having a big prototypical left tackle out there. That was the plan. And this wasn't. It doesn't mean Heinzen can't work, but we do miss having Haywood out there. And I think you're seeing that a little bit, not just in talent, but also just in cohesiveness, right? This unit has to come together. A couple of people talked about what's the starting offensive line. It really feels like, and I've said before, I think they should move Brunner out. But I'm also not an offensive line coach. That's not my job. I don't know more than AJ Plazic for sure. And it definitely feels like watching it now, Brunner on the inside makes sense. The interior run game is working really well. It's going to be Heinzen at left tackle, I think. I think it'd be surprised at this point if it's not Heinzen. Brunner at guard. Then you obviously have Renfro, Malman. And, today we saw Mandel get some first-team reps at guard. I think there's a possibility that spot is still being decided a little bit. But, yeah, I think it's going to be Heinzen at left tackle. All right, let's take a quick second here. friends of the show, come back, talk a little bit about the weapons at receiver, talk a little bit about the running back room. That's coming up next on Locked On Badgers. But first, a quick second for our friends of the show. Today's episode is, I don't have that. This is going to be a short episode anyway. We're going to wrap it there. Really do appreciate everybody coming in. I'm going to take all the comments in here, and I'll do a bigger show maybe in an hour or two where I'll go through my entire notebook, everything I saw, get your comments and questions in here. But really do appreciate everybody tuning in. Just a quick show, quick episode. Again, I would be, Doc says don't count out Coverly. Coverly looked really good yesterday. I didn't focus on him as much today. You just can't focus on everything. I know the staff is very high on him. Big physical guy, and he finishes. He had a really nice block today, kind of in individuals over to the side. So I agree. Appreciate you guys on Wisconsin, and we will definitely talk later. A bunch more coming up on today's practice. Comments from Letton, comments from Tucker Ashcraft, Jackson Aker, bunch of good stuff. Appreciate you guys on Wisconsin, and we will talk later.